All right, everybody, let's get into a little demo. I'm going to show you a really fun first project you can do to play with your airbrush, which is basically going to give you no hassles whatsoever, and you're just going to have a good time playing with paint. So what we're going to be doing is shooting alcohol-based paints, and all you need is alcohol-based paints and isopropyl alcohol. So let's jump into it. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on, but move it slightly out of the way just so you can hear me talking. You just hold your finger on the button and you can control the pressure up to about 25 psi. So I'm going to move that out of the way and hopefully it's not gonna mess with our video. So let's go ahead. We're going to take off the cap. It's a single action airbrush, so the air is flowing. And one really fun thing about alcohol-based inks is even if they dry, they're going to be reactivated once the alcohol is put in the airbrush. So we're not going to clog. We're not going to have any problems. We can actually adjust our trigger lock here that I mentioned in the campaign. If you turn it all the way down, you can't even move it. But we're going to just open it up and give some nice sprays, right? And this is a pretty textured canvas surface, so you're going to see texture spraying through, right? So, there you go. Now we're going to, that was just maroon. Now I'm going to spray some light green. And we're just doing this as a demo, just having fun. Just complementary colors of red and green. And I'm just going to show you some fun stuff, alright? So there you go. Now, paint sitting in there, alcohol ink. We're just going to go ahead and start adding in some of our isopropyl alcohol. And not only is this going to reactivate the paint inside our airbrush, but it gives us some really cool effects. Like if we want to spider it out, we could do that. See, because the rubbing alcohol is going to reactivate the paint, including in here. So I think this is a really fun project to just play around with because you don't have to worry about clogging your airbrush when all you need to reactivate any of the paint in your airbrush is that same rubbing alcohol. So basically right now we're just shooting rubbing alcohol. Let's go back to some paint. Right, we can spray it into the wet areas for some cool effects. We can push it around while it's still wet, get some neat effects. And I know this isn't exactly miniature painting technique, but this is such a good way. Just get a canvas board, piece of paper, something. Such a nice way to get used to controlling your trigger, comfortable with what happens when you spray the paint, right? Because it's about having fun. It's about being comfortable, and you don't want to risk shooting on a project and not enjoying it. So there you go. Go ahead and actually here you can even do this, right? I'll just show you. I'm gonna just pour some on, and you can sort of manipulate it right there on the canvas. See, it's moving. This is actually just so calming and peaceful. And we're gonna just shoot our rubbing alcohol. We can really hose it out if we want. And yeah, so I just wanted to demonstrate a fun way to play with your airbrush. I got a pair of old jeans here. I'm going to go ahead and give that a wipe. And more or less that's clean, but we can shoot more rubbing alcohol through to make sure. Another way you can check is you put your finger over that, give it a little trick, right? And that's going to backflow the air. And you can see that actually turned a little green. I guess you can't see on my finger, but and that's a good way to, you know, ensure you're cleaning this front area because the bubbles are bouncing around inside the nozzle there and cleaning it. So next video, I'll just show you how to take this apart and give it a good wipe down. But yeah, I think this is a first fun project if you're looking at getting an airbrush, checking out the campaign. Let me turn that off. And yeah, I think you're really going to enjoy it. Just a cheap canvas board, some rubbing alcohol, some alcohol-based inks, and you can have all kinds of fun spraying patterns. It's almost reminds me of like dyeing Easter eggs. And it's just a really no stress way to start playing with shooting paint and practicing your trigger control, practicing your aim, you know, and getting used to your new airbrush. So yeah, you can play with the air pressures, you play with the colors. You can get a pack of airbrush alcohol inks on Amazon. I'll go ahead and put a link below of the kind I'm using. And yeah, if you want to give them a shot, go ahead. And next video, I'll show you, take this apart, give it a little wipe down, and I'll see you in the next one. And like I said, this alcohol-based ink is really nice for these kind of demos and learning because any paint that's currently maybe stuck in here that's drying is going to reactivate immediately once I put that on there. So I'll be able to clean it off even though I'm doing a little video here. So there you go. Check it out. Hopefully you're going to enjoy this as much as I am. See you in the next one.